Welcome to Halifax, Nova Scotia and the Scotia Bank Center, where the 2018 National Basketball League Divisional Playoffs will begin. The Halifax Hurricanes and the Island Storm meeting in the playoffs for the third consecutive year. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Game 1 of the 2018 National Basketball League of Canada Divisional Playoff, along with Matt Elliott, Vince Williams on hand. The Canes enter this year's playoffs as the number 1 seed with home court advantage throughout these playoffs. They dominated the season series 6 games to 1, and they have played extremely well crossing the finish line.
Yeah, they really have. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They've really been on fire. It's really been clicking this, and this is the time of year when you want your team to be peaking, so Coach Leslie's probably got to be happy with that. Team is peaking, and for the most part, the team is healthy.
Now the Island Storm, losers of the last 4 and missing some key pieces that could have helped down the stretch, look to do the impossible in this 5-game, best of 5 game series. When you compare these two teams on paper, however, the series isn't played on paper, Matt.
Yeah, that's right. It's played on the court, and you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. They've got a few more players now that they were missing last time they faced up. It's specifically, I'm thinking of Chris Johnson. He'll be on the starting floor. Be interested to see how much time he gets, but you nailed it on the head. It doesn't matter on paper. It's time to play the game, trying to get this series done, and it's a long playoffs. And
let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Island Storm. The aforementioned Chris Johnson, Kemi Osei, Franklin Session, Devon Maxwell, and Carl Hall. For the Hurricanes, it's Tyrone Watson, Ramel Brown, Cliff Clinkscales, Antoine Mason, and Billy White. So, these two teams met in the second last game of the regular season for both of them here at Scotia Bank Center, and the Island Storm came in without all guns a-blazing. They didn't have all hands on deck. As you mentioned, Chris Johnson wasn't available. Scott wasn't available. Burdine isn't available, and Stringer. So it's going to be an interesting 5-game series between these two teams. But on the other hand, the Hurricanes are without one of their best, as Mason drives in. The putback's good for Ramel Brown. C.J. Washington not available, averaged 14 points and 7 rebounds, and C.J. Washington not available at all as he went back home to Atlanta, Georgia to get some surgery done to an extremity on his body that he just was unable to finish the regular season and the playoffs.
Yeah, that meniscus tear that he had put him out for the season. That's a huge loss. Like you said, 14 points, but he was one of their most consistent players. Luckily for Halifax, they've got a deep bench.
3 balls, no good by Mason. Maxwell with the rebound. Hall inside, Hall at the rim, and that's rejected. But Hall draws the foul on Watson, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Watson doesn't think he did it. He's going to see the replay here. Ooh, looked like a lot of ball. He might have got a bit of arm at the end there, and that's where that call came from.
This evening's officials, Brian States, Peter Phipps, and the crew chief, Paul Hansen. Hall's first attempt, no good. And he goes 1 for 2. Clinkscales. Clinkscales drives inside and he finishes off the window. Good looking drive there by the captain, Matt.
Yeah, he's mastered that hesitation that seems to freeze defenders every time.
Session. Maxwell for 3. No good. Rebound by White. Watson, dribble handoff to Clinkscales. Clinkscale drives inside, right hand, and off the window. Clinkscales again, back-to-back, dribble drives and finishes. He gets it to go off the bank, and he's got 4 now.
Yeah, he's feeling it today, and again, he went right back to that hesitation. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
Hall now, bottled up by Brown.
It's that patient defense.
Osei for 3, and he connects. Osei knocking down the 3 ball as Mason closed all the way out and Kimmy was able to put that one in.
I think he took that one from Young Street.
Clint Scales, teardrop, no good. That's the first miss on the evening by Clint Scales. 2 for 3 for the field. Clint Scales with the defensive play on the other end, knocks it out of bounds. Last touch by Clint Scales. Kimmy not happy about that non-call.
See the replay there. Looks like he got all ball. If he's got an argument, it's that right arm that that Klink was using.
Maxwell with the pull-up, he rattles it in. Devon Maxwell with his first 2. Maxwell is going to be a big factor for the Island Storm in this 5-game series, Matt.
Yeah, he sure is. He's one of the better players as Maxwell. He was definitely one of the better players last time these two faced off. Great athlete, long body, can flat out play.
Mason, kick out. Brown trying to post up Hall. Mason puts it up for 3, beats the clock. And Brown tried to save it on the end line. Can't do it. So good defensive stop there by the Island Storm.
You see, he tried to save there. Oh, looks like he got it to me. Might have had a foot on the outside.
Storm now trying to take the lead. Session puts it up for 3. And that's rebound by Mason.
Session can score in bunches if he gets hot.
Mason now trying to go to work one-on-one against Johnson. Clink Scales. And that's momentarily ripped away and finally picked up by Johnson. Hall, right hand, and he finishes. Carl Hall, he's got 3. And Hall can finish around the rim when given the opportunity, Matt.
Yeah, he's a good player. Great big body. One of the newer players. He averages 18 a game. I expect to see a steady die to him today.
And Billy knocks down his first jumper.
He's really been working on that, it seems. He's more confident stepping out as Billy.
That's going to be an interesting matchup. White versus Maxwell. Hall, too strong. Rebound by White. Clint Scales gets inside. Brown, teardrop. And that's a good looking shot by Brown in transition with the teardrop.
Great touch by the big man. If you got a big man that has that kind of touch, you're laughing.
Session. Session, spin move in tight, loses the handle. That's ripped away by White. Kane's back the other way. Mason, and he draws the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
See the replay here. Just gets hacked a little bit right there. All a result of good defense by Billy White on the other end. Great hands. That's no easy task. Franklin Session, when he gets moving and ball handling.
Absolutely.
He's quick, man.
Session is lightning quick, and he can finish at the rim. That won't be the last take to the rim for Franklin Session in this game or in this series.
Yep.
Mason misses the first. And Mason with an empty trip misses both. Osei. Johnson drives off the window and in. Nice looking drive by Chris Johnson. That's his first 2 of the evening.
That's his game. Physical scores, Chris Johnson. Can also take it out and shoot if he needs to.
Mason. White try to post up Johnson. Johnson pokes it away. Osei back the other way. Osei right hand, and he draws the foul on Clink Scales. And Kemi will go to the line to shoot 2.
You see the replay here. Comes down. It looked to me like he got him just a little bit on the elbow. Yeah, Clink just got enough of him. He's not agreeing. You see the ref pointing up to the screen, said, "You got him."
And that's Clink Scales' first personal, team second. Kemi hits the first. And he goes 2 for 2. He's got 5 now. Clinkscales. White on the reversal. White. Mason. Clinkscales for 3. And that's too strong. Rebound by Session. Session now. Crossover. Off the window. Drew the contact. No call though. Clinkscales picks it up. Mason in transition, right hand, can't get it to go. Brown battling for the rebound with Maxwell, and Maxwell wins that battle. Osei try to jump into Brown and draw the foul. Hall with the rebound, and he gets the foul on White, and Hall will go back to the free throw line.
So Ramel Brown has shown time and time again, he's almost impossible to get off his feet defensively if he doesn't need to. He can read those up fakes like I've never seen. He's a great patient defender. Gets his block, so he's not afraid to leave his feet, but he can read those up fakes probably better than anyone I've seen in this league.
So that's the first personal for Billy White. Team's third. Timeout on the floor. 2-point lead for the Storm. So both of these teams, I mean, the pace, not, what we're accustomed to seeing.
Yep.
But the numbers are indicative to why this is only a 2-point game.
Yeah, and it's like you said, the pace isn't anything spectacular. It's not too slow, not too fast. The guy, they're missing a lot of some of the open shots. Both teams are shooting around the same. 5 of 11 for Halifax, 4 of 10 for the Island Storm. No major difference there. The big difference really, this early in the game, is that the Island Storm got to the free throw line 4 times, and they've been able to sink 3 of those, where Halifax is 0 for 2.
Storm looking to get the ball inside to their bigs and try to use the drive by their good penetrators, and thus far it's been working so far. And the reason why they have more attempts at the free throw line than the Hurricanes.
That's right, and I wouldn't be surprised if they keep going to that well. If Coach Kendrick probably wants that, why wouldn't you, right? You get your team into the opposing team into a disadvantage foul-wise. It's an especially smart way to play when you have a short bench like Tim Kendrick does today.
Kimi Osei leads the way for the Storm, 1 for 3 from the field. And he's perfect from the charity stripe. He's got 5. And Ramel Brown leads the way for the Hurricanes. He's perfect from the field, 2 for 2. He's got 4. Vince Williams, Matt Elliott on hand for game 1 of this divisional playoff. Hurricanes Storm kicking this 2017-2018 NBLC playoff season. The only game on tap tonight.
Yep.
To start the first round of the playoffs, as the rest of the games will commence tomorrow night.
Yep, only fitting that Halifax kicks it off.
Hall makes the first. And Carl knocks down both. So Carl's got 5 now. Brown loses the handle. Osei back the other way. Osei right hand, and he draws the foul on Mason. And Kimmy will go to the line. So the Storm continuing to be very aggressive when getting the opportunity in the open floor, and that's turnover number 3 by the Hurricanes. And on every turnover, Matt, the Storm are looking to run.
Yep, and why wouldn't you, right? They're taking advantage of it. It's been what's been getting them to the line, and right now they're winning the game. They're playing better basketball than Halifax to this point. Again, very early in the game.
Not a lot of energy being exuded by the Hurricanes.
No, you're right.
You would think that, your first game in the playoffs, you would try to up the tempo and dictate the tempo and the pace of this game. But right now, not a lot of opportunities, as the Island Storm are doing a good job of getting back in transition, but they're not turning the ball over and not giving the Hurricanes those opportunities in transition the other way.
Yeah, right now it just looks like the Island Storm just a little bit more aggressive right now and a little bit more in tune. They're relying on their good players. Halifax just needs to get it together.
as Hall goes 1 for 2. Clink Scales can't get it to go. Rebound by States. States checking in along with Anderson for the Storm. Johnson now. To Maxwell. Maxwell, pull up. Drains it. Maxwell knocks it down. And Devon, 2 for 3 now. He's got 4, along with 2 rebounds. 7-point lead, the largest for the Storm. Jumper's no good by Mason, and Watson can't get that second chance opportunity. Session back the other way, and he draws the foul on Clinkscales, but the Island Storm are doing a good job of giving up the one and dones. They're doing a good job defensively and limiting the Hurricanes to those one and dones and not giving them those second chance opportunities.
Yeah, they're crashing the boards. Halifax usually, they're used to owning most games rebound-wise, but right now the Island Storm's just going for it. And you know what? It's kind of indicative of the game. Halifax not really playing the offensive game we're used to them seeing. And what's indicative of that is the fact that Cliff Clinkscales has taken 5 shots already.
Jump shot for 3, ball's no good by Anderson. That rattles in and out. Watson, as Clinkscales goes to the bench, and Zimmerman checks in. Clinks got 2. White posting up. Maxwell, White spin move off the window, no good. And rebound by States. So another one and done for the Hurricanes. Johnson puts it up for 3, and Johnson knocks it down. Chris Johnson asserting his offense prowess early in this quarter.
Yep.
And you could see that's the thing that they were missing in that final regular season game between these two teams.
Yeah, he's a huge piece of the puzzle too. That's 18 to 20 points a game is Chris Johnson, and an aggressive player offensively and defensively. He's a guy that can make all the difference in the world for this series for them.
And Maxwell bangs down another, and that forces a timeout call by Coach Mike Leslie as the Island Storm has the Scotia Bank Center in pretty much silence right now.
Yeah.
Largest lead, 13 for the Storm, and this is a Storm team that didn't have a lot of positives to build on on this last regular season matchup between these two teams, man.
Yeah, and they didn't finish the season strong at all. They finished with 4 straight losses. Mind you, like you said, they were missing some pieces, but just the same, this was a team all year that was below 500, but they're playing like the better team right now, and they're making Halifax. I don't want to say look foolish, but they're beating Halifax right now.
They are definitely beating them on all facets. If you take a look at the numbers are right there before you. Devon Maxwell leading the way individually. He's 3 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 for downtown, 7 points and 3 rebounds. He leads the way. Kemi Osei right behind him with 6, and he's 1 for 3 from the field, but he's 3 for 4 from the charity stripe and 2 rebounds, and that's pretty much has been the difference. I mean, and the turnover numbers and the rebounding numbers are right there as well, Matt.
Yeah, look at the turnovers. Halifax has 4, and the Island Storm has managed to score 8 points off of those. So essentially, every time Halifax turns the ball over, the Island Storm have been able to capitalize. You can't win basketball games that way.
But the Storm come into this series losers of 4 straight, but they definitely gave the Central Division winners, the London Lightning, all that they could handle on that final game as they try to make a push to move themselves in the 3rd position instead of 4th, where they come into this series as the number 4 seed up against the Halifax Hurricanes. Trying to carry over that good play into this one, and it's been working thus far.
Sure has.
Watson with the tough take. And he can't get it to go. Anderson with a great defensive play. Session spin move. Session off the window, no good. Rebound by Brown. Good looking drive by Session, but Brown able to protect the rim. Zimmerman now. Canes need an answer offensively. Struggling. And Zimmerman. White trying to post up Maxwell, and the jumper's too strong by Ramel Brown. So another win on the defensive end for the Storm.
Yeah, I doubt Coach Leslie wanted that offense to run through a shot by Brown. I was going to 12-footer or so. a jump shot. That's not what you want Ramel Brown. That's not what you run your offense through.
And Maxwell throws up the air ball. And that's probably the only mistake offensive we have seen thus far.
Yeah.
If you really want to call it a mistake by the Island Storm and Devon Maxwell's air ball 3.
And it wasn't necessarily a bad shot that he took. It just didn't hit
Poole's shot's too strong. Dixon and Poole checking in for the first time for the Canes. Second chance opportunity. Zimmerman. That's a tough shot and deflected by Maxwell. Good defensive play. Johnson back the other way in transition. He barrels right into the chest of Watson, and that's a great defensive play in transition.
Very smart.
When numbers were stacked against him, Matt.
So let's see it here. You see him gets his feet set. You knew it was coming. That was great. Real smart basketball by the veteran Tyrone Watson. We've seen him do that a few times this year.
Yeah, Watson not going for that ball fake by Johnson, and that's Johnson's first personal, team second. 13-point deficit for the Hurricanes. Canes looking for some answers offensively. Brown, spin move, tough shot, that's blocked by Maxwell. Session with it. Johnson in the open floor, and Johnson gets it off the window and to go. 15 now for the Storm.
Halifax has no answer. They can't score, and the Storm's firing on all cylinders.
Dixon poked away by Maxwell. Maxwell back the other way. Johnson thought about it. States in the trail position. States can't get the teardrop to go. Rebound by Brown. So Canes dodge a bullet again off their 7th turnover. Poole for 3. Too strong, and a battle for the rebound between Watson and States, and that's last touch by Watson. So 1:11 remaining, 15-point deficit for the Hurricanes, as Mason will check back for the Canes. And Hall will check in for the Storm. Anderson puts it up for 3. Anderson misses everything. Too strong off the window. Not a good shot for Anderson. Poole back the other way. Mason drives to the rim, and he's fouled. Not in the act of shooting, though. And it'll be Hurricanes possession on the baseline with 45.8 remaining in the first quarter.
See the replay here. See, he lost it. I don't know. See what happened to the ball here. I don't know if States thought it was the last seconds, but he heaved it towards his own net. No call.
So that foul picked up by Anderson. That's his first, team's third. Storm have 4 fouls to give. Zimmerman puts it up, and he can't hit, and they continue to be cold out of the Hurricanes.
Ice cold. 5 of 20 right now.
Definitely haven't shot the lights out in this first quarter. That shot is blocked from behind by Poole. Poole now. Poole inside. No foul. Brown with the rebound. Lots of contact between Poole and Anderson. And it's last touch by Brown.
See the replay. Watch this block here. That's all ball. I think States thought he got fouled, but you can see in the replay he didn't.
No say in the game for the Storm, as the Storm will hold for the last shot here at the end of this quarter. White checking back in for the Hurricanes. Anderson. Chris trying to go to work. Chris for 3, that's poked away by Mason. Mason back the other way. Poole trying to beat the gun. Bang! Off the window, counted. Mike Poole beats the gun, but an outstanding defensive play by Antoine Mason, as Chris Johnson tried to go one-on-one, draw the foul on the 3 balls. You can see just beating the clock there is Mike Poole, but Antoine Mason with that great defensive play, that might be the spark that they need going into the second quarter, Matt.
Well, for Halifax's sake, I sure hope so, because until that buzzer beater there by Mike Poole, it's been minutes. I can't even see the stats here, but it's been quite a while since they last scored. And I don't remember the last time Halifax only scored 12 points in a quarter. especially to start a game. They usually start off red hot.
The Hurricanes break up a 15-0 run by the Island Storm, and they have been dominant in the second half of that first quarter.
Yep.
So a 13-point lead after 12. And your thoughts on that quarter, Matt?
Well, it wasn't a good one for Halifax, and it was a good one for the Island Storm, to put things bluntly. But as I look at the stats here, I mean, Halifax shooting 6 of 23 right now for 26% from the field, 0 for 6 from three-point land, and they haven't hit a free throw yet. So basically, it's pretty simple math for me. If you don't hit shots, you're not going to score points, and you can't win the game. It's not as if Halifax is playing terrible defense. They're just not scoring.
The big guns are not scoring, to mention number 14, Antoine Mason. He's 0 for 5 from the field. He's 0 for 3 from downtown. He was held to 0 points in a quarter. And how many times have we said that throughout the regular season?
No, not many.
Mason coming into this playoff round, averaging 20 points, and he's got to be at the top of the list as one of the favorites to win the MVP of the regular season in the National Basketball League of Canada of this season. Yeah,
he's definitely in the conversation. He's more than a few games he's strapped Halifax on his back and carried him to wins. But to that, they're not playing a characteristic game. Antoine Mason, he'll usually take three-pointers in a game. That's right around his average. He's taken 3 already this quarter. He hasn't hit any of them. Cliff Clinkscales, he averages 8 points a game, and he's got a pretty high field goal percentage. He's taken 5 field goals, and that was halfway through the first.
And the Caps are running into some foul trouble difficulties as well, picking up 2 personals.
So I don't know if it's Coach Leslie was trying maybe something different, trying to throw a few different sets at the Island Storm that they haven't seen.
Right.
But either way, it hasn't translated so far. Again, still 3 quarters left.
Here in game number 1 in this divisional playoff, with Matt Elliott, Vince Williams on hand at Scotiabank Center. Start of the second quarter, 13-point lead for the Island Storm. Hall, Anderson puts it up the 3, and he knocks it down. And Chris Anderson, 1 for 3 from downtown, and that's his first points of the evening. White, dribble handoff, Zimmerman back to White, and he tried to throw it down on Hall.
Went down hard, hope he gets up.
Hall will be called for the personal.
See the replay. The give and go, wants to get the stuff, gets hit. But Carl Hall got him.
And they got to get going. Billy White has to get going. 1 for 2 from the field in that first quarter with 12 points and 3 rebounds. White on the regular season. Averaged 18 points. Billy had a good campaign in the first 40 games.
Sure did. Looks like he's wearing new sneakers today.
White hits the first. Looks like the playoff shoes for Billy.
Yeah.
Looks like the official flag either of Jamaica or even South Africa.
It's the colors anyway.
A lot of colors, but White goes 1 for 2. Excuse me, 2 for 2. He knocks down both. Osei. Hall try to post up. Dixon pokes it away. Zimmerman now. Poole with the drive. Poole kick out. Dixon for 3. Dixon rattles home the 3. Ronaldo knocks down the 3 ball, and Dixon shoots it at 22%, and he can extend the defense from that distance if given the opportunity.
Yeah, that number, 22%, not indicative actually of how well he shoots at. You remember last year in the playoffs how hot he got from beyond the arc.
And Anderson's shot no good. States with a second chance opportunity. Hall inside, Maxwell rejected off the rim by Poole. Mason back the other way in transition. Mason left hand finish. And a great defensive play once again by Mike Poole on the help line, blocking that shot off the backboard in the open arms of a teammate.
Yeah, and Mike Poole may be that guy. He may be, look at his defense. He may be the spark that Halifax needed. So far he is.
And White is fouled as Poole picks up his third block of the game. And let's take another look.
See, Maxwell gets the drive. Nice timing by Poole. Good job not to reach too far into that for the foul. He's playing great right now.
It's all about timing, and a timeout call on the floor by Tim Kendrick. He wants to talk it over as the Hurricanes have responded in the early going of this second quarter. It's down to single digits, a 9-point deficit for the Canes. But the Canes are getting it done defensively, and this is the reason why that they are back in this game now, Matt.
That's right, and it had to happen eventually. I mean, you knew Halifax was going to go scoring 12 points in the next 3 quarters. But you're right, they needed a spark. It didn't happen offensively, but it happened defensively through Mike Poole, through a couple of nice defensive sets, even a steal down there by Ronaldo Dixon, and that in turn has sparked their offense and sparked the team. That happens a fair bit, right? Maybe it's not the shots, maybe you're not hitting the downtown shots, maybe you're not getting the huge flushes, but guys step up, play tight defense, and all of a sudden everything starts to come together.
The Hurricanes rebounding and responding. The Island Storm trying to continue their impressive play in this game number 1. So, Storm calling timeout as we like to welcome in all the many fans around the National Basketball League of Canada here for this one. The Island Storm fans in Charlottetown and the province, the great province of Prince Edward Island in this game number 1, as well as many fans of the Hurricanes around the globe. Down south, Dave Green. Say hello to Dave, my good buddy in Orlando, tuning in.
Hello, Dave. You know what, though? I mean, we've said this before. The games when Halifax plays the Island Storm, it's always the Storm fans that are the busiest. Lots of input from them. Love to see that. They love their team.
So coming out of the timeout, Billy White at the line to shoot 2. After an outstanding defensive play by the Hurricanes, White trying to get going here in this second quarter as the Canes need their top guns to respond, White and Antoine Mason. But it's been the play of Mike Poole defensively that has provided the spark.
Yep, it really has.
And White goes 1 for 2, kept alive temporarily there by Dixon, and I'm not sure, we need some confusion here.
Oof.
And it looks like it was last touch by the Storm.
That's what it looked like to me.
And Anderson having a quick conversation with Manny States there, and he wasn't sure if he touched it last, but it'll be Hurricanes possession here. Poole with the inbound, and he turns it right over to Maxwell, waiting with the open arms. The lob and the reversal layup there by Anderson. So he couldn't get that athletic play to go. Last touch by the Hurricanes.
He had a step. He was clear to get it. I think he was almost a little bit too far, so he tried to put it in reverse.
Maxwell with the inbound. Session for 3. Session too strong. Maxwell with a second chance opportunity. Anderson puts it up. No good. Rebound by Poole. White now, back the other way. White spin move, right hand, left hand, blocked by Hall. Anderson back the other way, finger roll, and it's good. So great defensive play down one end, and a good run out on the other for the Island Storm.
Yeah, nice defense down there with the Storm. It was Hall with the block there.
White, again, left hand, short at the rim. White, rebound. A battle, he comes up with it. Billy now. Bottled up there, turns it over. Anderson now with the ball. Anderson in the open floor to Hall. Hall lost the handle and count it. And one when things looked like they were coming undone with the two bigs running in transition. They come up with it, and Anderson was able to get it to Hall, and Hall gathers himself, as you can see in the replay.
Yeah, and just a little foul by Dixon. Not a hard one, reaching in, trying to get the ball off the bumble. Ends up getting more body.
And the lead back up to double digits for the Storm. Hall completes the three-point play, and it's 13 now. Hall's got 8. He leads everybody. Poole now. Swings it to Mason. Mason, drive. Mason, teardrop, counted. Antoine Mason, and that might be the take that gets Mason going, as he was able to draw the contact on Hall.
Yeah, and Halifax really needs to get him started. You see the take there, look at that. Nice touch on the teardrop. Defender closed too late, ended up getting the foul. But Halifax really needs Mason to start scoring, getting to the rack like he does so well. His best game isn't when he's shooting from the perimeter. His game is when he's taking it to the hoop.
And Mason continuing to struggle from the charity stripe. Can't complete the three-point play. He's 0 for 3. Osei drives. Osei counted. Comes right back and responding is Kemi Osei, and he's continuing to play impressive in the first half.
Yeah, the Island Storm showing that they're not shaken at all by that, and you see his drive here. Zimmerman tried to play tough defense on him. Got a bit of his hand, but as I was saying, Island Storm not shaken at all by the push from Halifax. And they're keeping the distance.
Absolutely. Kemi Osei playing an outstanding game. He's got 9 now as he completes the three-point play. Poole. White posting up Maxwell. Dixon, pull up, short. Rebound by Zimmerman. Zimmerman tries his hand, no good. Rebound by Osei.
Just not dropping.
So second chance not there in transition. Hall, that's rejected by Dixon. Back the other way comes Mason. Mason, right hand, and he draws a foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Outstanding defensive play down the other end by Ronaldo Dixon.
Let's take a look at it. They're going to push the ball up court. Dixon, good job. Look at that, catching up. Nothing but ball. Didn't know where he came from.
The elevation not quick enough, and the flush not fast enough by Carl Hall, as Dixon made up the ground, and he was able to make that block right at the rim, and that's a difficult situation to do in transition when you're trailing, Matt.
It usually ends in a hack, right? It usually ends in a foul.
Outstanding play defensively by Dixon, as Mason rights the ship at the charity stripe, knocks down both. Mason's got 6. Osei, pull up, jumper, no good. Rebound by Poole. Poole back the other way. Kane's got numbers. Mason, count it. That's an easy one. Off the window for Mason in transition. And the Canes looking to run now on every miss by the Storm.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do. Mason doing a good job of getting up the court fast. Wow, what a move by Session.
Session left hand's no good. Rebound by Mason. Mason again on the attack. White left hand, and that's rejected. And last touch by Maxwell. So Billy continuing to have his struggles.
They're playing him tough on D.
He's getting to the cup, just can't finish.
Which is the opposite of last game they played, because really he was having his way with Maxwell for a little while with his footwork and that left hand off the glass. Billy was really having a lot of success in the paint. It's been a little bit opposite today. They're playing him super tough.
Maxwell, no, Mason, jumper, no good. Maxwell with the rebound. Session. Osei taking his time. Hall trying to post up Dixon, and that hasn't been working. Mason back the other way now. Mason, and he goes right at Hall. Second chance is there. Mike Poole once again defensively right there.
Put his hand in the passing lane, forced a bad pass. Halifax gets it. He's been the primary benefactor of that great D by Poole.
Lead down to 8 now. Maxwell, and Maxwell almost gets that one to go.
It's a tough call.
As Billy will be called for the foul.
Let's take a look at the replay. So got him a little bit with the shoulder just before he went up, maybe.
White's second personal, team's third. Anderson Johnson checks back for the Storm. As Maxwell goes 1 for 2. White loses the handle on the rebound. Opportunity here. And Johnson for 3, and he drains it. Chris Johnson knocks it down, and Johnson is perfect on the night. 4 for 4, 2 for 2 from downtown. He's got 10.
Yeah, he's really feeling it tonight. He hasn't missed yet.
Osei with the rebound, back the other way, turns it over. Canes have numbers in transition. Poole up, and he will be in the act of shooting as Session, not a good foul in the open floor. Try to foul him before he got it up.
Hey,
Well, let's take a look.
Mike Poole decides I want to get a little action here too. Yeah, not a great foul, you're right.
Good job by Poole. Good court awareness as he heard that whistle and made sure he was in the act of shooting, and Poole banks home the first of 2. And he knocks down both. Back to a 10-point lead for the Storm.
I like this sub right now. I like bringing in Ramel Brown, giving Billy a bit of a breather. You can see he's frustrated, but Dixon's been playing good defense. I say leave him in.
White 1 for 5 from the field with 5 points and 6 rebounds. Session puts it up for 3. Session, bang, and he knocks it down. Franklin Session knocking it down, and that's another 3. The Storm 6 for 15 from downtown. They are shooting the lights out.
Yeah, you can't give Session that kind of space because his release is so quick.
Mason.
If you don't close out on him in time, he's got that quick shot. Even though he releases a low release, it comes so quick that you got to close out. You see the replay there.
That's personal foul number 2 on Franklin Session. Team 6. As Mason will go back to the free throw line. Mason rattles out the first. As the up and down adventure continues for Mason at the charity stripe. And he goes 1 for 2. Mason's got 11 now. 3 for 7 from the free throw line, 4 for 11 from the field. Johnson off the glass and in. That's another tough take by Johnson, but he is continuing to be up for the task as Johnson's got 12.
Yeah, they don't have an answer for him right now. He hasn't missed.
5 for 5 from the field is Chris. Brown baseline, and he's fouled by States.
That was a great look by Zimmerman.
And he'll shoot 2.
Let's take a look at the replay here. Gets the up fake. He could take the shot. See, kicks over. States is just too late. Smart pass by Zimmerman.
So Brown now. This is the first. And he misses both. Session picks up the loose ball.
East Mason almost had that.
Session now. Osei, handoff. Osei, pump fake. Osei, that's too strong. And that's a tough shot by Osei. Had it the first time. As he takes a quick look at head coach Tim Kendrick, and Kendrick gives him the sign to maybe move the ball a little bit more and try to get everybody involved, as they've been doing an outstanding job in their half-court sets, involving everybody.
But how about that last, kids, if you're watching that, and hear the triple threat position, Osei made perfect use of it there.
And Johnson looked like he lost the handle there, but it was last touch by Poole, and Poole Not sure. Not sure if that was the right call. Nevertheless, it goes to the Storm. Session, hesitation. That's a tough 3-ball. Good close out by Brown. Mason, back the other way, spin move.
Oh, wow.
Mason off the window, no good. Put back's no good by Brown, and it looks like it's last touch by the Storm. And another call that goes to the way of the Storm.
Yeah, there's been a few that have been questionable there. Hard to make the call, I guess, from where we're sitting, Vince. But, man, oh, man, the fans are not happy. You can hear them in behind us here probably, folks.
13-point lead for the Storm. Session now. And a moving screen called, and it looks like it's on States. And that brings a roar to the Scotiabank faithful right there. Anderson will come in for the Storm. States checks out. Poole inbound for the Hurricanes. Zimmerman puts up the 3, short. And we have a foul on the play, and it's on Ramel Brown, called for the push in the back, as Chris Anderson was able to block out Ramel. And that's Ramel's first, team's 4th. Johnson for 3, short, rebound by Brown, takes it away from Session. Mason drives, kicks it out to Poole. Teardrop, good. Chris Johnson with his first miss of the evening, and Mason coming back the other way, attacking the rim, and a good kick out to Poole.
And that's what Halifax has to do. They've got to make that quick transition. They're just not doing it right now. They got to start pushing the ball up the court. That's when they've had their most success this game.
Maxwell with the miss. Dixon with the rebound. And a foul on the play. And that's on Chris Johnson, his second. Storm over the limit. Hurricanes will shoot 2, but not after this timeout call by the Storm. 45-33, Hurricanes trailing in this one. Matt Elliott, Vince Williams on hand here at Scotiabank. Storm being led by Chris Johnson, 5 for 6 from the field, 2 for 2 for downtown with 2 rebounds and 3 assists and 12 points. He's been outstanding for the Storm, Matt. Few replays you can see there as the Storm shooting 36% from the field, the Hurricanes 30%. .331 remaining in the second quarter. It's 45-33. And Neil Coulson, it's 2 fouls. It's not 3 fouls on clink scales. So Antoine Mason will go to the line to shoot 2. Mason having his problems, but has caught his stride in the second quarter as he hits the first of 2. Mason struggling a little bit from the field. 4 for 12 with 3 rebounds and 2 assists, and Mason hits both. He's got 13 now. 10-point lead for the Storm. Johnson. Osei puts it up for 3. Osei knocks it down, and another 3 for Kemi Osei. He's 2 for 4 from downtown. He's got 12, and that's number 7 on the evening for the Island Storm from long distance. Zimmerman. Mason. Mason drives. Mason met at the rim, and that's can't get it to go. Rebound by Johnson. Session. Osei again for 3. Too strong. Rebound by Poole. Poole inside. Kemi steals it. Poole tried to save it. Can't. And it will go over to the Storm. So great defensive play in transition by Kemi Osei after he missed the 3 ball. And an errant pass by Mike Poole. And it remains a 13-point deficit for the Hurricanes. Session puts it up. Rebound by Brown. And Franklin yet to find his game in this one. Brown loses the handle though. Session, opportunity in transition. And he's fouled in the open floor by Poole. As the Hurricanes have 3 fouls now, 2 fouls to give before they're in the penalty. That's Poole's first. Team's 5th. Clinkscales will check in with 2 personals. As Zimmerman will go to the bench with 2 minutes remaining, along with Watson will check in as well. Session inbounds to Maxwell. Session to Maxwell. Maxwell hesitation, spin move. Maxwell puts it up, can't get it to go. Rebound by Poole. Clinkscales in the open floor. Clinkscales bounce pass to Poole. Session almost turns, picks it off. Poole now. Back out to Clinkscales. Try to step into a 3, thought about it, but takes his time. Mason drives. Mason, right hand, blocked by Maxwell. Session now. Osei to Anderson. In tight to Maxwell. He loses the handle, turns it over. Clinkscales. Poole with numbers. Poole short at the rim. Watson, he can't get the put back to go. Mason can't get it to go, and they're continuing the struggle are the Hurricanes. 4 opportunities in that trip. Man, great opportunities in transition, and the Hurricanes just can't find their way around the rim. 2-12 for 45 now. Osei, tough jumper. Rebound by Watson. Clinkscales to Poole. Poole to drive. Pull up. That's no good. Tap back to Poole. Second chance coming up. So it's not like they're not getting their opportunities here. They just can't finish around the rim and in the mid-range. Clinkscales will hold now for the last shot. A difference of 3 seconds on the game clock and shot clock. Clinkscales. Hesitation. Clink. Left hand. Clink. Counted. Clinkscales with the outstanding dribble drive. Hesitation and blow by. Let's take a look as he freezes Maxwell. Thought there was a foul there. Didn't come. But Clinkscales, the captain, just determined to get to the rim. And he makes it count with 3.6 seconds left, and that is a huge bucket for the Hurricanes as they needed that lift towards the end of this quarter. Clinkscales playing with 2 fouls late in this quarter, and he completes the 3-point play as Zimmerman will check in for Clinkscales. Clink 3 for 6 from the floor with 7 points. Osei, and that shot is deflected and knocked away by Mike Poole, and that'll do it. 10-point lead for the Hurricanes. Deficit for the Hurricanes as an impressive 24 minutes for the Island Storm. They lead this one by 10 after 2 quarters. So we will step aside, but stay with us. You're watching the first round of the Atlantic Divisional playoff between the Halifax Hurricanes and the Island Storm. Welcome back inside Scotiabank Center for the start of the second half. The Island Storm leading by 10 versus the Halifax Hurricanes in round number 1 of this Atlantic Divisional Playoff. Mason misses the 3. Clint Scales for 3, no good as the struggles continue. A third opportunity here now as Ramel Brown gets the rebound. Watson drives, and that's rejected by Hall. Back the other way comes Session. Session, bounce pass to Osei. Back to Session. Session for 3, no good. Rebound by Mason. With Matt Elliott, Vince Williams on hand here for game number 1. The first 24 minutes, Matt, was dominated pretty much by the Island Storm. But the Hurricanes only down by 10, shot 27% from the field, but they're only down 10. That's probably the good thing, but the bad thing is they have their troubles, and they've struggled from the field trying to put the ball in the basket.
They have struggled mightily, and they continue to struggle. I was hoping maybe the lid that was on the hoop would come off, but you're right. To struggle as much as they have in one quarter, in an entire half, and only be down by 10 and still be in the game, that's a positive. And they need to work with that.
The jumper down. Yeah, I mean, 27% in the first 24 minutes. I don't think we've seen 27% at all at a home game here all season long.
I don't think we've seen 27% in a quarter, let alone
2 quarters.
Yeah.
And Brown gets the bank off the window to go. Back to a 10-point lead. Session. Osei on the reversal. Back to Maxwell. Maxwell trying to get in. Session pump fake. Top fadeaway jumper, and Osei. Man, I tell you, Osei continuing to come up big here. He's got 14. 4 for 10 from the field is Kemi with 6 rebounds.
He's hit some tough ones.
Mason off the window and good.
Mason's really trying to play that role of strapping the team on his back. 18 field goal attempts so far.
Trying to open it up is Mason. He's got 15. Johnson, who was outstanding in the first 24. Tough shot forced by Watson. Rebound by Brown. Clint Scales, left hand, and that's denied by Maxwell. Kemi now takes his time. Storm will get into their half-court set. Session, blow by to the rim, Session, and that's denied by Brown. Lots of contact, no call coming. White, spin move, and he draws the foul on Maxwell, and Maxwell's not happy about that, Matt.
No, but that's what Billy White needs to get doing. Let's see the replay here. Comes down, makes use of that spin. Yeah, I guess you can make the argument for or against, but he got the call.
Had good positioning. If he would have just stood tall there and not reached in.
That's right. He would have been laughing right now.
And that's Maxwell's first, team's first. White.
He needs to get going.
Absolutely. His third trip to the free throw line. 1 for 5 from the field is Billy. Billy hits the first. 6 rebounds and 6 points thus far. White averaging 18 points on the regular season, but he has struggled in game number 1. And he goes 1 for 2. Session now. Session kicked out to Ose. Hall trying to post up Brown. Hall taking his time. Hall, drop step. Hall, bang in the window, and it gets it to go. Nice play offensively and patience by Carl Hall.
Yeah, he displayed good, nice footwork in the paint. He's a big man. I like the way he plays center. Good, strong, big man on down low for them.
Jumper by White, no good. Clinkscale's 3 ball, no good. Hall once again on the block. Hall, spin move, baseline, and he draws the foul on White. So back-to-back possessions, getting the ball inside the Carl Hall has worked out thus far for the Storm, Matt.
Yeah, it sure has. You can see the replay here. Great spin move, gets Billy off balance, and he just gets enough body on him. Yeah, he got pretty much all ball with his hands, but the rest of the body was leaning into Hall, and that's where that foul call came from. But yeah, why not go to Hall, right? You got a guy who's having another great game in Billy White. See if you can throw him off a little bit further, get him into foul trouble.
Hall knocks down the first. 6'8" power forward from Wichita State. Man, he's been good in this one, Carl Hall, picking up the slack. That inside presence, it didn't have it in the final game of the regular season. I mean, offensively or defensively, they had no answers for the bigs, for the Hurricanes. But right now, they have lots of answers in this game number 1.
That's right. They're setting the standard really today.
Mason's shot is short. Maxwell with the rebound. Maxwell, one-man fast break. Maxwell rejected by Brown. Maxwell almost was able to make his way through the defense here. He tiptoeing through the tulips.
See the weave. Again, good patience. Waited. Ramel Brown did for the right time. Let him get by.
The last line of defense was Brown. And Maxwell draws the foul on White, and that's a tough call on Billy White, as it looked like he was straight up.
Let's check the replay here.
No, there's a little bit of a reach
bit of a lean.
And just like he gave it on one end, Maxwell gets it on the other end.
Yeah. That's a tough call to make, but it was the right call. You know, from what we saw, at least at first, it looked like a bad call. Watch on the replay, and it was the right one. So credit to the ref on that.
And that's a big foul on Billy White, as that's his 4th. Team second. White goes to the bench, and Dixon checks in now. Maxwell gets his own rebound. Maxwell, and that's rejected by Ronaldo. Man, I tell you, I mean, the struggle can continue here. Second chance and third chance opportunities. A thing what we did not see, and we're seeing it at a frequent pace here in this game, and it's just going to be important. And bang, and knocking down the 3 ball is Kemi Osei. He's got 17, and Osei has been outstanding.
Yeah, he's been fantastic, and he's hitting such tough shots. Dixon had a hand in his face there, no problem. He'd still put it over him.
Second chance opportunities have came back to bite the Hurricanes, as the Island Storm are taking full advantage of those second chances. And that's 9. And Maxwell again, and that forces a timeout call by Mike Leslie. And it's a 19-point deficit by the Hurricanes, and the fans
bleak.
here are absolutely shocked in game number 1.
Yeah, quiet fan base here, and rightly so. But you kind of hit the nail on the head there, Vince. If you're not scoring, I mean, it happens, right? Maybe you'll have a game where you're not hitting every shot. If that's the case, your team's not shooting well, then you at least have to pick it up, the slack, on the on the other end, but 2, on those hustle things, too, like those second chance points. Duvon Maxwell, essentially getting his own rebound after his own free throw. That's the kind of stuff as a team you can't let happen. If you're not scoring, then you have to start doing everything else that much better, and Halifax just isn't answering the call right now.
11 offensive rebounds for the Island Storm.
Wow.
Equates into 9 second chance points. Total rebounds, they're dominating. They got a 5-point advantage when it comes to the rebounding. I mean, this has been a thing that the Halifax Hurricanes have dominated the opposition in the rebounding department, Matt, all season long, as they entered this game as the number 1 rebounding team and number 2 team rebounding team in the association.
Yeah, they're number 2 because number 1 is actually the Island Storm, if you can believe it.
It's crazy, but I mean, they like to get after the rebounds offensively, the Island Storm.
They do,
and that's their thing. They're quick, they're athletic, they're not the biggest team up front, but they have a lot of athleticism. Duvon Maxwell is outstanding, and when it comes to the bigs, I mean, Carl Hall's a big man. He's 6'8", but he's over 200 and at least 45 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact, numbers, but I know for sure he is a load inside, and right now he is having his way and forcing his will on the bigs of the Hurricanes.
Yeah, he averages about 7 rebounds a game. Mishak Lufal, we haven't really seen that much of him today. He's another guy that can grab boards flat out, the big man. Watson, let's see, there we go.
And Watson knocks down the jumper on the baseline. So that's a good response coming out of the timeout for the Hurricanes, and they need lots of it, but lots of basketball remaining in this one. This one is far from over. Session fires for 3, and he knocks it down again.
It's that quick release.
Franklin Session was able to put that one down, and Session, he has 9. Dixon Brown responds on the other end with 2.
I'm not sure if Sessions come off the court yet.
Session has played outstanding as he had his early struggles, but he's starting to pick it up offensively. You can't let this guy get hot, and he hits the jumper.
And Sessions a guy that even if he's not hitting shots, he's all over the court.
This guy catch fire, and he's got the last 5 points for the Storm. Zimmerman tries to answer. Rebound by Osei. The Storm 9 of 22 from downtown. Hurricanes struggling 1 of 12. Johnson with the floater off the window, and the bank is open, and a lot of things are open now as it's a 22-point lead, the largest for the Storm.
I bumped into Chris Johnson at halftime, asked him to miss a few shots if he wouldn't mind. Clearly he didn't listen.
Watson with the
Nice
miss,
take.
put back there though by Ronaldo. There's a timeout on the floor as we got a stoppage in play here.
I don't know if it's time
Anderson
out or
and
if it's
States will check in. Looked like somebody flew into the front row,
Uh-oh.
either the ball or as they're trying to retrieve it, and somebody is down.
I don't know if that's a
It's
player or a
one
fan.
of the Storm players,
It's-
as they have ended on the back end of the hoop here. They're just trying to see who is
Jeez, I missed
down
that.
in discomfort. And they are in a lot of discomfort here. They are taking their time to assess the player, and that's Chris Johnson, who is behind the hoop. And Johnson taking his time, being assisted here as a collision between Watson and Johnson. Looked like he went behind the hoop
It looks like he took
on
a
his
shot.
own,
Yeah.
on his own power. Either he's holding his left shoulder or left hand area, and let's hope that Johnson's okay. He's played an outstanding
He's
game
been fantastic.
for the Island Storm. He's definitely been one of their top performers, is Johnson. He is up to his feet and making his way to the Storm bench as Anderson will check in for him. Maxwell, 3-ball, no good. Session, though, with the rebound. Anderson, he'll put up another 3, and bang, Anderson knocks it down. Man, oh man, the Island Storm are on fire from downtown in this one, Matt, and that has been the separation in this game. Second chance opportunities and nailing those threes as Ronaldo responds with his own 3. The second 3-ball for the Hurricanes on the evening.
Only the second, yeah, and
Maxwell with the flush.
Jeez.
And Dr. Duncanstein once again shows up. You know he's going to get 1 or 2 in a game. And he explodes.
Oh, yeah.
Right down the middle of the defense of the Hurricanes.
Halifax just flat.
Poole for 3. Bang! He knocks it down, though. Back-to-back 3-balls by the Hurricanes, but they desperately need a stop on this end, Matt.
They do. They need that and then some. And they can't get it done. But look at this. 24 3-pointers the Island Storm have taken. They clearly went into this one with a game plan to put up shots, and they've hit 10 of those. If you can hit 10 and 24 as a team, you got a pretty good chance.
And both of these teams came into this series pretty much shooting the 3-ball with the same percentage. The Storm 33% and the Hurricanes at 34%. So, I mean, to say that these two teams light it up from downtown, no, they don't.
No.
But right now, the Island Storm are taking advantage of those opportunities and knocking them down. Session again. That was a heat check on that inbound. Too strong. Poole with the rebound. 19-point deficit. Lots of work and a huge mountain to climb for the Hurricanes. Zimmerman drives, and that's knocked away by Anderson. It will remain Hurricanes possession. 9 seconds on the shot clock here. And Poole will inbound on the baseline.
Zimmerman has yet to score today.
Zimmerman's been outstanding off the bench for the Hurricanes in the season. Poole can't get the shot to go. Tapped around, last touch by Poole. And a missed opportunity to cut into this lead. As Zimmerman averaged 13 points, he shoots the 3-ball at 41%. Man, they could really use that 41% right now.
They sure
Session
could.
blow by and a finger roll at the rim. Franklin Session is taking over this game.
And he's got the kind of talent to do that, especially athletically. I mean, he's so quick. Like we were saying in the first half, he wasn't huge offensively, but he was still all over the court making a difference. He crashes the boards. He gets his hand in passing lanes. He's a heck of a player.
Session in transition to Johnson, and that's blocked, but he draws the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Johnson looking for the goaltend. But Session coming up with that loose ball and a good heads-up play on the run-out to Johnson.
Looks like Zimmerman got him just on the elbow. It's ugly.
Man, Franklin Session struggled in the early going, but since then, he's been outstanding in this third quarter. He's only 4 for 14 from the field, but all of his points, I mean, he's got 10 now. He's closing in on a double-double with 8 rebounds and 3 assists. Johnson struggling a little bit on that trip to the free throw line. Poole, hesitation, back to Mason. Mason's got to get going here. They need him to step up offensively. Poole, Zimmerman, that's too strong, and Zimmerman, the struggles continue. Zimmerman gets it back though, back to Zimmerman. He thought about it, had some space, swings it to Poole. Poole puts it for 3. That's an awkward looking 3, and Session comes up with the rebound. Session, pull up for 3. Heat check, no good. Rebound by Poole. Zimmerman, and he is double teamed inside the Mason, off the window, and good. Good decision there by Zimmerman, as a good closeout by Anderson and Session.
Yeah, did a good job of recognizing that double team. Ooh. And kicking it down to Mason, as he was standing alone for a good while underneath that basket. Just hard to see because he had 2 trees in front of him.
Maxwell's fouled on the drive, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2. Maxwell, though, coming up a little Looks like he's in a little discomfort right now, taking his time, bent over at the free-throw line. Let's hope that Devon's okay.
See the replay here, see where he might have got a little bit shaken.
Well, I know where he got hit, and we don't want to mention there. The pictures tell the whole story.
Yes, it does.
As Maxwell gathers himself and he knocks down the first. And he makes both. Maxwell will come out and Hall will check in. Devon with a very strong game for the Storm. 6 for 16 from the field. He's got 17 now with 9 rebounds. Turnover, Dixon. Johnson now in no hurry. 21-point lead for the Storm. Hall. Inside, Hall drives, Hall draws the foul and he'll shoot 2. So Wynn will check in for the first time for the Storm. Session checks out, OC in, and States out. Carl Hall to the line to shoot 2. Hall not getting a lot of shots and attempts in this game, Matt, but when he has, he's been outstanding. 3 for 5 from the field. He's got 13 points. He's making his hay at the charity stripe. 7 for 8 thus far, with number 9 coming up.
And he's just been a thorn in their side defensively down there as well all game.
He knocks down both with 5 rebounds. 14 for Hall now. Mason, pull up, rattles in and out. Rebound by Zimmerman, can't save it on the end line. And Wynn will inbound for the Storm. Osei. Hall, post up on Dixon, and he draws the foul on Dixon. And Carl will go back to the free throw line.
See the replay here. Great
and
spin.
That was an outstanding spin move by Hall.
Caught Dixon sleeping, or at least flat-footed.
Not the quickest player in the post-up position, but that first move is pretty lethal.
Yeah, that was great.
We've seen it from both sides of the floor. Either he can spin baseline or spin into the middle of the key. Either way, he's been very, very effective tonight.
He sure has, yeah.
And he goes 1 for 2. Hall's got 15 now, and he's 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Make that 9 for 11 from the free throw line. Reefer checks in, and he misses the 2, but count it for Ronaldo Dixon on the putback.
See the replay here. Missed shot, Dixon able to get it. Good quick turnaround by him to get that ball up and get the hack.
1:13 remaining in the third quarter. We have a lot of basketball left. Fourth coming up, Matt. What do you think will be the discussion and the message to the Hurricanes at this break in between quarters by head coach Mike Leslie?
Well, if I'm Coach Leslie, I'm telling the guys it's got to be hustle at this point. You've got to do
read
everything else
right.
Well, exactly. If the shots aren't going to drop, you can't coach that right. You take good shots. If they're not falling, they're not falling. But everything else they have to get better on, and they have to play tight defense because it's going to take a massive scoring output, plus a great defensive output in the last quarter here to win this game.
Wynn turns it over. Mason in the open floor. Mason with the flush. Johnson now. Johnson forces that shot, but he draws the foul on Reefer. And Johnson will go to the line to shoot 2.
Let's check the replay. Well, this is Mason with his flush.
Reefer picks up his first. Canes over the limit. Johnson short. If there's anything that's lacking a little bit in Chris Johnson's game this evening, it's definitely been the free throws, as he has yet to hit any of his attempts, and this
You are
is the
correct.
fourth. And he goes 1 for 2, 1 for 4 now. Johnson with 15 points. He's 6 for 9 though from the field, 2 for 2 for downtown.
There we
Zimmerman
go.
finally knocks down the three. And that might be the spark to get Zimmerman going heading into the fourth.
Well, Halifax needs something.
Storm taking their time, a difference of 4 seconds on the shot clock and the game clock. Hall now, he loses the handle, turns it over. Mason in transition, Mason counted and one. Mason draws the foul. The strength and body control through the contact, finishes at the rim, and he has a three-point play.
Again, great defense. Look, Mike Poole getting his hand in there, forcing that. He's just like a running back, eh? When he tucks that and goes.
Mason, man, outstanding play in transition, taking on 2 defenders. All-important three-point opportunity, and he completes it with 3 seconds left. Hall, he'll heave it, and it's no good. And that'll do it. After 3, Hurricanes with a late response, but a huge mountain to climb, Mount Everest, in game number 1 here. They trail 82-68 after 3 quarters. Just your thoughts now after 3 now, Matt.
Well, Halifax, that was their best scoring quarter so far. They dropped 30 in that one, but they allowed 34, right? So Halifax, if they want to win this game, it's still within the reach. We have seen bigger comebacks this year. If Halifax wants to win it, they've got to score like they did that time. 30 points, that's a good quarter, but they have to really put that defensive pressure on the Island Storm in order to make up that differential. That's just, I mean, simple mathematics, right?
Well, it's stacked against them. The numbers definitely, both of these teams average over 100 points. The Island Storm 106. The Hurricanes 107.
Yep.
Right now, the Storm are definitely on pace to clip the century mark. The Hurricanes not so much, so they really need an outstanding effort defensively in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I'm going down the line here, looking at all the stats, trying to pick the big one that really stands out, that's making the difference. And they've really, the hustle stats and all the stats below the shooting percentages have essentially evened out for both teams. They've got essentially the same amount of turnovers. Halifax actually has more points off turnovers now than the Storm. Halifax, they have more assists. Halifax actually now has more offensive rebounds than the Storm. But it's that shooting, that 25 of 76, that 33% from the field, that is what is killing them this game.
So both teams getting their final instructions, the start of the fourth quarter here. Sunday on Hurricanes Basketball Channel, the National Basketball League Divisional Playoff continues. Game 2, our coverage begins at 2 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Tip-off right around 2:10 Atlantic Standard Time. And after Game 2, the series shifts to the Eastlink Center next Thursday, April the 12th. And if necessary, that's Game 4 on Saturday, April the 14th at the Eastlink Center. And if it goes 5, we're right back here at the Scotiabank Center Wednesday, April the 18th. All games scheduled for 7 p.m. tip-off. That is in the evening. Those games 3, 4, and 5 around 7:10 Atlantic Standard Time. So, man, the way this is going right now, this one looks like it will at least go 3, if not 4. I mean, right now, the Island Storm trying to get a split in the first 2 games in this divisional playoff. And that has been, one of the tasks that head coach Tim Kendrick mentioned to me at the start of this game. And we're going to put all our cards on the table, and we're going to try to get at least 1 of 2 and head back to our own building and try to close this one out. You have guys not playing at 100%. Right now, Chris Johnson's not playing at 100%. They don't have the services of Tyler Scott. They don't have the services of Trinity Burdine, and they don't have the services of Andre Stringer. They are basically disadvantaged right now, but they have played an outstanding game in the first 3 quarters.
They sure
but
have.
They still have a lot of work to do. But the Hurricanes, they can't be discouraged. They're on their home court.
That's right.
They are 15 for 15 out of 5 on the regular season when it comes to the home court. If any team can get it done in this Atlantic Division, it's the Halifax Hurricanes. But they need to start to get it done on the defensive end, Matt.
Oh, definitely. It's their only answer right now is to continue to score and get it done on the defensive end. But you're right. Halifax has been great. The 75% winning percentage so far at home this year, one of the better winning percentages in the league at home. So Halifax can get it done. They just need to come out and win the next one. I mean, if the Island Storm can win this one and obviously win the next one, that's almost like a death blow for Halifax.
Absolutely. After an outstanding regular season for the 3-time Atlantic Division champions. Johnson for 3, and he knocks it down. Man, Chris Johnson has been a problem this evening for the Hurricanes. He's 3 for 3 from downtown. He's got 18, 7 for 11 from the field. He's been on fire.
And he's not just that he scored. It always seems like he's scoring at the most opportune times for the Island Storm. Times when he'll put a dagger right in a Halifax run or something. He'll drop a 3. Just kind of like a morale-killing scoring performance from him, points aside.
And he comes back the other way and draws a foul. And that's on Reefer. That's his second, team's first of the quarter. Session now, back to Johnson. Johnson for 3 again, and that rims in and out. And Johnson's not playing at 100%. He's got a major contusion or actually a pull in his left, looks like his left finger. One of his fingers there, as it's heavily taped. And to have, your offhand, one of your hands, and that's where your moneymaker is, or both of your hands, to have a type of injury where you have a pulled ligament, it makes shooting difficult.
Yep, especially that guide hand.
Right now, it doesn't look very difficult for him, as the numbers are very much in favor in his game.
He's been on fire. What can you say?
And Mason misses the first of 2. Mason, on the other hand, the high man for the Hurricanes. And the high man in this game, he goes 1 for 2. He's got 23 now. Mason, though, 8 for 23 from the field. 7 for 12 from the free throw line with 5 rebounds. 85-69 is the score. Session, that's a tough jumper. Rebound by Mason. Poole steps into a 3. Poole can't hit it. Put back's good though by Ronaldo.
He's been great off the bench.
So down to a 4-point lead, the largest lead, 23 for the Storm. Canes chipping away. Blocked by Dixon at the rim on Maxwell. Mason in the full court. Reefer can't get the teardrop to go. Session back the other way. Maxwell, the open floor, and he flushes down the one-handed hammer. And that's tough to defend in the open floor when you got Devon Maxwell ahead of the defense, and that would have been that would have been an outstanding defensive play by Dixon to block that shot or alter it. 3 balls no good by Reefer. Maxwell back the other way, drives, and he picks up the foul on Mike Poole. As the Storm continuing to be very aggressive.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
When they grab the defensive rebound, as Billy White checks back. White playing with 4 fouls, and White has struggled. 1 for 6 from the field. He's got 6 points and 6 rebounds. They need him to be outstanding in the last 9 minutes.
Yeah, as he goes, they go really all season.
Hall rejected by Ronaldo. Mason. He collides with Session. White now, and Session is called for the reach. Session has a quick word with Peter Phipps. Session trying to shake off what looks like an apparent neck situation. There's a timeout on the floor called by the Storm. 9 minutes remaining here in the 4th. Hurricanes still trailing 16 points to be exact, and they need a lot of questions answered in the next 9 minutes, Matt.
Tell me about it.
Or
They've got a whole book full of questions they need answered.
Or the Storm will steal game number 1.
And essentially steal home court.
And it will be a steal of home court advantage in this one. Storm coming in pretty much limped into these playoffs as the number 4 seed. Losers of 4 straight. Hurricanes, on the other hand, man, they finished strong down the stretch, but you can't pretty much tell right now. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, games are not won on paper.
That's right.
And the Island Storm are right now are proving that, that particular scenario, that it's not won on paper.
And they're getting a real team performance. I mean, if you look at this, they've got now 5 guys in double digits. And Coach Kendrick, really, he's leaned on his best guys. He's given huge minutes to his best players. That was one thing that we were wondering before the game. How much of Chris Johnson are we going to see? We knew he was back in. We knew he was available. But we knew that he probably wasn't 100%. But he's been flat out pretty much all game. He's been giving it, and we'll see if he leaves him in or out. But given this is a 5-game series, and he's not 100%, I was surprised to see as much of Johnson as we have, but it clearly has paid off.
Yeah, I mean, this game is definitely won in 2 scenarios, in 2 situations, turnovers and rebounding. If you take a look at those numbers, the Island Storm has done an outstanding job of taking care of the basketball. 9 turnovers in this one and 15 assists. For the Hurricanes, that's 11 turnovers and 13 assists. I mean, right now, the play of their leader and the number 1 assist man in the league, Clint Scales, non-existent.
No.
Clint Scales got into some early foul trouble, and he's played limited minutes. Zimmerman, though,
he's going to get 3.
Forces that 3 ball, and Session looks like he'll be called for the foul.
See the replay. See if he was.
Yeah, that's a good pump fake there by Zimmerman.
Should be 3 shots.
So Taekwon, he's had his struggles as well from the field. 1 for 8. His first trip to the free throw line. They desperately need all 3 of these free throws to drop.
They need pretty much everything to drop at this point. It's not exact, 8.5 minutes left, being down as much. You gotta shoot better than 50 at this point.
26 for 82 from the field are the Hurricanes, as he makes all 3. And they struggled from the charity stripe as well. Both teams have at 66 and 69% respectively. Maxwell jumper, it's too strong, and that's rebounded by White. Mason now. Zimmerman looking for the screen. Zimmerman draws a double team. White back to Zimmerman, swings at the Poole. Poole drives off the bank, no good. Zimmerman now, shot clock dwindling, gotta put it up. Zimmerman knocks it down. Taekwon Zimmerman with the shot clock dwindling.
Still a game.
Knocks it down, and he's 2 for 3 from downtown. A 10-point lead now. And they got the spark that they need. Hall, tough shot forced by Brown. Session, the States draws the contact on Brown. And another second chance opportunity off a miss for the Island Storm, and States will shoot 2.
Yeah, they're getting those offensive rebounds. Halifax has got to capitalize off those misses. They get a huge 3. Imagine if they had been able to come back down on the miss, score another couple points. All of a sudden, you're within 8 points. That's a 3-possession game at that point.
They desperately needed that stop. Couldn't get it as States banks in the first. And he goes 1 for 2. So it's an 11-point lead. Zimmerman now off the screen. White tries to swing it the pool. That's knocked out of bounds by Maxwell. Osei will check in for the Storm, and a look that we haven't pretty much seen at all tonight by the Storm. They go small now.
Yeah.
And it's pretty
Real
much
small.
no bigs really on the floor. State's really not a true power forward, more of a small forward. And Zimmerman drives it.
That's going to be Halifax ball.
Brown with the putback, no good. Last touch by the Storm. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Zimmerman will inbound. As Coach Kendrick continuing to encourage his team. White rattles in and out, put back though, Brown's good. So White tried to beat the shot clock. Brown in great position.
Yes, sir.
And when you don't have a true big on the floor, the biggest man on the floor will outdo the smaller man, and Brown comes up with the putback.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if they try to run it through Brown, knowing that they're going as small as they are right now.
Osei, step back, and he knocks it down. That's a tough jumper by Kemi Osei. He's got 19, 6 for 12 from the field with 7 rebounds. Zimmerman,
nice
crossover off the bank, no good. Rebound by Osei, and he's fouled in the open floor. A good look off of that penetration by Zimmerman. Can't get it to go down, though.
It's one of the better crossovers I've seen him use all year. Just couldn't make it fall.
But they need to continue to be aggressive
and
drive to the rim. Session, the State's in a two-handed flush. Great spin move by Session, drawing a double team, and an outstanding feed. The States, and he drops the two-handed hammer.
And that's been the story of the game, really. Anytime Halifax gets close, within 8, they start to make a game of it. The Storm just come right back.
Mason drops the 3 ball down, though. Back to a 10-point lead.
Fans are getting treated to a good one.
Turning into an old-fashioned slugfest right now is game number 1. Session, spin move, Session fade away, tough shot, and Session gets it to fall. Session's got 12. He's got the double-double, 11 rebounds. Now he's working on the triple-double with 6 assists. Boom, knocks down the 3. So the Hurricanes starting to catch fire from downtown and answer. But they need to answer on the defensive end.
That's right. They've got to come up with a defensive stop so they can keep piling the points on and close that gap. It's nothing to score if you let the other team come down and score as well.
9-point lead for the Storm. Maxwell. Fans encouraging defense here, and Maxwell throws it away. As States was cutting to the hole, had an easy opportunity if he could handle that pass, but he couldn't. So an opportunity opened up here for the Hurricanes. Mason drives, Mason draws the foul on Osei, and he'll shoot 2, and Osei is not happy about that foul call.
No, he's not. Let's see if we can get a replay of it. It looks like he reached just a little bit. He thinks he's got all ball. Well, I think it's a good call. Tim Kendrick is being very vocal on the sidelines. Gonna get a bit of a warning right now.
Mason hits the first. Antoine continuing to find his game, but with outstanding scores, they will continue to attack and attack and attack, and Mason has been doing it throughout this game. 9 for 24 from the field, and he makes both. He's 9 for 14 from the charity stripe, 7 rebounds and 28 points. He leads all scores. All important defensive possession here for the Hurricanes, desperately needing another stop. Session driving, and he gets the call. And the reach
looks like it was on Mason.
On Mason, it looks like.
See it here. He's going to make a nice cut. Nice, yeah. I think Mason just reached in, just got enough. I think Zimmerman thought he got called initially, but he did not.
So that's Zimmerman's third, team's fifth. Session for three. Session too
Way
strong. Off the backboard. And rebound by Zimmerman. Poole for three. No good. And that looked like it didn't have a chance.
And you got the steal.
Poole though. Pull up. Poole hits it. Puts it up and in is Mike Poole. And Tim Kendrick calls a timeout. And the fans are on their feet at Scotiabank.
Yes, they are. 5-point game now. Halifax right back in it just when you thought this game was close to being over. Essentially, the dagger was in, but no. 5 points. Great play from Mike Poole defensively. And, you know, he's been able to hit those shots. He's essentially earned his points on defense.
Poole's three ball was no good right off the hand.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
Stayed with it. And they were able to crash the boards, come up with that 50-50 ball. And Mike made no mistake with that mid-range jumper. 5 for 17 is Poole with 14 points and 10 rebounds and 3 assists. Timeout called by the Storm. Right now, things starting to unravel. The largest lead of 23 points. They had this game well in hand, but a lot of time left was remaining for the Hurricanes to fight their way back into this one. Now, the question is, which team is going to finish strong? Which team are going to have the answers offensively and defensively on every possession? Right now, if you're head coach Tim Kendrick, what are you saying to your team?
If I'm Tim Kendrick, I'm saying at all costs, you got to make those stops defensively, and you got to keep Halifax from getting those big momentum-building shots and those wide-open shots. Halifax obviously is getting scrappy now, and they're starting to earn those second chances. They're starting to get that hustle. You saw it. Like I said, Mike Poole, he missed the shot, but he followed it, right, and he did everything else right, got the ball back.
Fans to their feet here, looking for another stop. The Storm struggling in this fourth quarter. They have 12 points compared to 21. It knocked away by Brown. Not a good pass by Maxwell as he tried to get Carl Hall.
Look at that mismatch there. States on Ramel Brown.
Mason, spin move, off the bank and in. Antoine Mason starting to eat right now.
Oh my goodness.
Osei, 3-point lead, 4 minutes remaining. Man, what a finish we got going here in game number 1. Hall, the Session. Session Hall knocks down Mason, and Hall throws it away off the hands of States. He can't handle it. So an opportunity now for the Hurricanes to get on even terms when this thing looked like it was pretty much over.
It sure did. What a comeback.
Zimmerman jumper, no good. And that would have tore the lid off the roof here at Scotiabank if he was able to get that one to go down.
It sure would have.
Session now. The Osei. Maxwell. Hand off to Osei. Osei's been outstanding. Osei drives, and Osei almost gets the banker to go, and he'll go to the line to shoot too.
Call on Antoine Mason.
Mason's third, team 6. Johnson will check back for the Storm. As the Storm hanging on right now. 2 big free throws coming up for Osei. And Osei rattles home the first.
So the Storm went from playing small ball right back to big. You see Duvon Maxwell, Carl Hall, Chris Johnson back in the game.
That strategy was not working.
No, sir.
The Hurricanes were trying to get to the rim, and they were getting there with success. Osei knocks down both, though. And Kimmies leads the way for the Storm with 21. 6 for 7 from the free throw line. Kimmy's been outstanding in that department. Mason now. Mason drives. Mason finishes. Antoine starting to take over like the MVP candidate that he is for the Hurricanes. He's got 32.
He has been fantastic taking the ball to the hoop.
Trying to answer now. draws the double team. Osei, Hall, back to Johnson. Johnson, tough shot,
Nice
deflected. Gets the second chance to go though. Johnson stayed with it after Poole was able to knock it away. Didn't block out Johnson. And Johnson continued his way to the rim. Poole for three, bang! And Mike Poole knocks down the dagger, and the deficit is in two.
He has been huge off the bench for them today.
Man, we got a finish in hand right now. Osei, the Hall, fans screaming for defense. Osei trying to go to work. Osei, tough three, and he misses everything. Outstanding closeout by Zimmerman. Can the Canes answer on the other end? White, one-on-one, inside, White, left hand, can't get it to go. Rebound by Hall. Had a good look on the doorstep was White. As the struggles continue for Billy though. Still 2-point lead, Hurricanes need a stop. Maxwell, Session will put it up for three. Session banks it off the window.
Wow.
And knocks it down. Outstanding three by Franklin Session. He's got 15. Poole again answering. Bang! Mike Poole!
Oh my
forces
goodness.
a timeout call by Kendrick, and he is livid. Mike Poole has taken over this fourth quarter.
And Duvon Maxwell, he is talking to.
And we have some confusion here as
see
the
the
officials
replay.
trying to get control of this one. Man, we have had some outstanding shooting from both teams. Maxwell's not happy as he is motioning towards the Hurricanes bench, and this is not the time
No,
to
sir.
lose your head.
No.
As you can see in the replays of the mountain that the Hurricanes have climbed
Oh my goodness.
to get to this point.
Fantastic game of basketball right now.
Just over a minute to go, and we are in for an outstanding finish. Session drives, right hand, too strong, Hall, put back, count it. Carl Hall continuing to be good, and that's Hall's
It'd be 17
with
for
the
him.
putback. Man, I tell you, Carl Hall has stepped up huge for the Island Storm, and that's rebound number 9, working on the double-double.
Yeah, he's been monsters for them. 17 points. But as you said it, man, he's making his hay from the free throw line. He's getting there. This will be 12 and 13 for him.
And an opportunity at the three-point play, and he completes it.
12.
10 for 12 from the charity stripe for Carl Hall. 4-point lead for the Storm. Storm trying to steal game one. Mason, bang, he knocks down the three as Johnson unable to close out all the way. Session now.
Halifax needs a stop.
Session, two-man game. Kicks it out to Maxwell. Johnson, he's got to hurry, in the Hall. Hall, spin move, baseline, count it.
Oof, wow.
Man, that
That's a
move has
strong
been
take.
open all evening.
Strong take.
Carl Hall has been
Nope.
outstanding with that move. Zimmerman, no good. Last touch by Maxwell and out of bounds. 4-point lead, 13.4 seconds remaining in regulation. Man, Carl Hall has been outstanding down the stretch.
These last couple
Back-to-back
minutes, yeah.
moves. He's got 5 points in back-to-back possessions. He's got 20 points, and that drop step on the baseline with the right hand on the left-hand side has been pretty much unstoppable. All his moves. He's only 5 for 10 from the field.
Yep.
But I can tell you, if you go back through the replays and through the game film, those 5 attempts at least 4 of them have been that drop step move on the baseline.
Yeah, and he plays kind of like that old school power forward, old school, I'm reluctant to call him a center because he doesn't have that true center size, but he plays like that old school big man where he knows how to use his body and he knows how to use it to bump and get a little bit of space, and that's what he did in that last play. He used his strength to get space and basically went up for an easy layup.
The Island Storm being led by Kemi Osei, he's got 21. Chris Johnson's got 20. Carl Hall's got 20 also. Devon Maxwell's got 20. And Franklin Session has 15. So you have your starters in double digits. And this was the game plan for head coach Tim Kendrick. He knew that he didn't have his full complement of players. He knew that one of his stars wasn't at 100%. But the mandate was to come over here, steal at least one game, and go back to the East Link Center for games 3 and 4 and essentially steal this series. Man, I tell you, games are not won on paper, and right now the Island Storm are coming up with a gutsy performance on the road here in a building where there has not been a lot of success for anybody coming in.
Yeah.
Only 5 losses on the regular season for the Halifax Hurricanes. They pretty much need a miracle here, down 4 with 13 seconds left, but anything can happen. White, rejection by Hall, and that should do it. Johnson, open floor, layup, and the Island Storm will steal game number 1. Mason, and it's all over.
Wow, what a
but
game.
The crying and shock, absolute shock, as we had a thrilling finish down the end of this one, but being down as much as 23 points and not really shooting well did in the Halifax Hurricanes tonight.
Yeah, and you said it, that's it. They weren't able to shoot. They had a fantastic fourth quarter. If they had played like that for at least 2 more quarters, they'd be laughing. You can't hit shots, you can't win basketball games, but given that this is, there's still a lot of series left, and with the Island Storm having the short bench they do, make no mistake, this game probably took its toll on that team, especially those starters. They're going to be tired.
So that'll do it. The Halifax Hurricanes go down in game number 1. The number 1 seed have lots of work here in this divisional playoff between them and the Island Storm. The Storm take it 108-102. Kemi Osei led the way with 23 points, and they got it done as they steal home court advantage. So, for my broadcast partner, Matt Elliott, and the entire Silver Vision crew, I'm Vince Williams saying so long. We'll see you Sunday for game number 2.